seeing some toxic, abusive behavior, and they're trying to unveil that to the ignorant, uninformed, or perhaps the gaslit people. There's a term called discernment in churches, and my mother claimed to have it. And she was never believed unless she was in the presence of another man. So my father would go with her, and she would talk about sermons that had inaccurate or unbiblically stated texts. Another way is using fear as a tool to control behavior. This can include sermons or speech that talk about the fear of hell, the fear of Satan, or the fear of not belonging. The Catholic Church uses this one. Way back when the Catholic Church was pretty much so intertwined with politics, and in some countries it still is, but it's more common in states that have extremist religions like Muslim, Christianity, terrorist groups. That doesn't mean that the more traditional forms of these religions are bad. But as you know, where there is religion, there is extremism. And another way is insisting on exclusivity of understanding. Some groups, especially Christian churches or Christian hierarchy of institutions, may claim that only certain individuals or those within a specific group can truly understand these texts. This is very prevalent in Christianity. The book, the Bible, is written in such a way that only people who have extensive theology, history, philosophy, and understanding of so many things within a text, and the time, the place, the people involved, the historical value, can understand or even hope to understand the text. And the problem is when you have 40,000 denominations and all their interpretations, stereotypically, are vastly different, and everyone believes that their interpretation is the only way, the only accurate version. What you're doing is you're establishing us versus them mentality. And when the highest educated with various PhDs, master's degrees, awards, and scholars who can't even agree, then what good is the book? What good is an understanding if all the scholars, and even my brother has various PhDs to read dead languages and ancient texts all the way back to the Epic of Gilgamesh. If 100 scholars who are the most brilliant, educated minds of the century all disagree on how a book should be interpreted, the problem isn't the interpretation or the scholars. The problem is how the book is written. If a common person with no education above high school diploma can't understand, and everyone doesn't agree, or agree in a way that doesn't pit different denominations against each other, what good is a book? I mean, it's chaos. How many people have died, been murdered, or been abused or harmed or left out due to a tiny little difference of interpretation? Another way is providing exclusive supplementary materials. Some organizations may strongly encourage or mandate reading their own books or publications to understand the true meaning of Scripture, discouraging independent study. I firmly believe, based on attending 7 Baptist, Calvinistic, fundamentalist churches, that very few people ever read the Bible. And I've talked about this in other videos. When children under 22 can't find the biggest book in the Bible, Psalms, in the very middle, or can't even tell where a book is, whether it's in the New or Old Testament. They're not studying at home. And most of these children were children of major senior leadership. The music minister's children, the senior pastor's children. I mean, I don't care how spiritually wise you appear. If your children don't know the basics of the Bible, where to find the biggest book in the Bible, the most common facts about your religion, you should not be in a leadership position, period. If you can't get your kids interested in your own religion, you have no business being a spiritual leader to anyone else. If you Google books, Christian books, you will see millions of different books, workbooks, activity books. I mean, there are hundreds of just